Okay, so hi everyone, good evening. Bonsoir tout le monde. Comment nous y Um, we ended in the life in Genesis 25 as Abraham passed away, and we were going to continue on with his son Isaac and Ishmael, and everybody else that in the family. Let me put my phone on low. So Abraham died and was buried next to his wife Sarah. Before he died, his wife had passed away, and he had remarried and also had given birth to many other sons. So we are leaving off in Genesis 25. We're just picking up from verse 12 and so on. So this is the story of Ismail, the son of Abraham, whom Agar the Egyptian, the servant of Sarah, bore to Abraham. Now these are the names of the sons of Ishmael, by their names according to their family origins. Ismael firstborn Nebahoth, the Kedar, Abiel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jatar, Nafes, and Kedema. Wow, how many kids is that? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 kids. These are the sons of this man, and these are their names, by their settlements and by their encampment, chieftains according to their claim. And Ismail lived for 137 years old. The girl that Sarah, when Sarah did not believe that God was able to give her son at the age of 99, she tricked the servant girl into having a child with Abraham. So this kid, which God did promise her, will make of the her and the son a new kingdom, a new world. He has 11 children of his own, and he lived 137 years. Then he breathed his last and died, and was gathered to his people. And they took up dwelling from Havilah near Shur, which is close to Egypt, as far as Assyria. They settled near all his brother. So after his death, his sons and his people lived near his brother Isaac. And this is the story of Isaac, the son of Abraham, the son that was born from Sarah, about 100 years of age when she gave birth to him. Abraham became father to Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel the Aramean of Padanaram, the sister of Laban the Amarian, and Isaac kept pleading with Jehovah regarding his wife because she was barren. Just like his mother. His mother was as well bearing. So his wife then wasn't able to have children. So Jehovah responded to his plea, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant, and the son within her began to struggle with each other, so that she said, "If this is the way it is, why should I go on living?" So she inquired of Jehovah, and Jehovah said to her, "Two nations are in your womb, and two people will be separated from within you. And the one nation will be stronger than the other nation, and the older will serve the younger." I guess at that point she probably was bearing twin. When the time came for her to give birth, look, twins were in her womb. Wait, yeah. Then the first came out red all over and was like a garment of hair. So they named him Esau. After that, his brother came out, and his hands was holding on the well of Esau. Ooh. uh, so he named him Jacob. So here goes the birth of Jacob. Jacob was born after, well, a couple minutes after Esau, and God did say to Sarah, or not Sarah, um, Rebecca, that the older will be serving the younger. So Jacob, Isaac was 60 years old when she gave birth to them. So he married at 40. 20 years later, his wife had children. Um, as the boys got bigger, Esau became a skilled hunter, a man of the field, but Jacob was a blameless man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because it met game in his mouth, whereas Rebekah loved Jacob. On one occasion, Jacob was boiling some stew when Esau returned from the field exhausted. So Esau said to Jacob, "Quick, please, give me some of the red stew that you have there, for I am exhausted." That is why this name was Edom. His name was Edom. To this Jacob said, "First sell me your right as firstborn." And Esau continued, "Here I am about to die. What yours is a birthright to me." And Jacob added, "Swear to me first." So he swore to him and sold his right as firstborn to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank. And he got up and went away. Thus Esau despised, um, des- despised the birthright. Now there was a famine in the land, in addition to the first famine that occurred in the day of Abraham, so that Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. Then Jehovah appeared to him and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Dwell in the land that I designate to you. Reside as a foreigner in this land, and I will continue with you and bless you, because to you and to your offspring I will give all these lands, and I will carry out the oath that I swore to your father Abraham. I will multiply your offsprings like the star of the heaven, and I will give to your offspring all these lands, and by means of your spring, all nations of the earth will obtain the blessing for themselves, on account of the fact that Abraham listened to my voice and continued to keep my requirement, my commandment, my statutes, and my laws." So Isaac continued to dwell in Gerar. When the men of the place kept asking about his wife, he would say, "She is my sister." He was afraid to say, "She is my wife," for he said, "The men who the place might kill me because of Rebekah, for she was beautiful in appearance." After some time had passed, Abimelech, king of Philistine, was looking out of the window, and he saw Isaac displaying affection for Rebekah his wife. At once Abimelech called Isaac and said, "She is actually your wife. Why did you say she is my sister?" At this Isaac said to him, "I said it for fear I should die because of her." But Abimelech continued, What have you done to us? One of the people could easily have lain down with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us. Then Abimelech commended all the people, saying, anybody touching this man and his wife will surely put to death. And Isaac began to sow seed in the land, and in that year he reaped 100 times what he sowed, for Jehovah was blessing him. The man became wealthy, and he continued to prosper until he became very wealthy. He acquired flock of sheep and herd of cattle and a large body of servants, and the Philistines began to envy him. I the thing into which um, marital affairs and things like this would cause upon this is like repeating itself. This king probably was known to keep taking people's wives, killing them. So the father did the same thing, and now those grandchildren. So this descendants from descendants, they were known for these things because now he goes Isaac doing the same thing, pretending that his wife wasn't his wife, just so that he could live. But although upon all of these, adultery was the act of adultery was punished before the eyes of God, and they knew. So that's why they once they knew who Sarah was to Rebecca was to him, he made sure he put a plea so that nobody goes, so that people doesn't. Well, the first time with Sarah, the whole nation was bearing. Every woman could not have children. So the Philistine took soil and stopped up all the wells that his father's servant had dug in the day of Abraham. Abimelech then said to Isaac, move from our neighborhood, for you have gone far stronger than we are. So Isaac moved from there and camped in the valley of Gerard and began dwelling there. Jealousy for because he was being prosperous. So now, as you can see, he was a man of God. God asked him to do something. He did it, and God blessed him. So with the blessing of God, he multiplies his wealth and become more richer than the king, and that bring off jealousy, and jealousy in the hearts of men brings a lot of distress and pain. So he asks him to leave. So what exactly is in this? The blessings of God were upon Isaac and Abraham, and therefore for upon those who try their best. That does not mean that Abraham did not forsaken Jehovah when he did thus. So, excuse me, 1 second. Kikote liela. Why are they? Oh, I'm sorry, everyone. Children. Okay. So the king asked them to leave, and they left. They had to leave the town. And Isaac again dug the well that had been dug in the day of his father Abraham, but that the Philistine had stopped up after Abraham's death, and he called them by the names that his father had given them. When the servants of Isaac were digging in the valley, they found a well of fresh water, and the shepherd of Gerar began quarreling with the shepherd of Isaac, saying, "The water is ours." So he named the well Esek, because they had quarreled with him. And they started digging another well, and they began quarreling over it as well. Great. So he named this one Sitnah. Later, he moved away from there and dug another well, but they did not quarrel over it. So he named it Rehoboth and said, "It is because now Jehovah has given us ample room and has made us fruitful in this land." Then he went up from there to Beersheba. That night Jehovah appeared to him and said, "I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not be afraid, for I am with you, and I will bless you and multiply your offspring on account of Abraham my servant." So he built an altar there and called on the name of Jehovah. And Isaac pitched his tents there, and his servants dug a well there. Later, Abimelech came to him from Gerar, and Azoth, his personal adviser, and Phicol, the chief of his army. At this, Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to me, seeing that you hated me and sent me away from your neighborhood?" To this they said, "We have clearly seen that Jehovah has been with you." So we said, "Let there please be an oath of obligation between us and you, and let us make a covenant with you." So now, what is that? If you see that God is with somebody, why not um, get yourself some blessing as well? Maybe you can learn. So they went and tried to make friends with um, Isaac. So they make promise. They say in verse 29 that you will do nothing bad to us, just as we have not harmed you, seeing that we have done only good to you, and that we sent you away in peace. You now are the blessing of Jehovah. Then he made a feast for them, and they ate and drank. In the morning they got up early and swore an oath to each other. After that Isaac sent them away, and they went from him in peace. On that day the servant of Isaac came and reported to him about the well that they had dug. And they told him, "We have found water." So he named it Sheba. That is why the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he took, a, he took as wife Judith, the daughter of Ber, Beri and the Hittites, and also Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. They were a source of great grief to Isaac and Rebekah. Now, when Isaac was old and his eyes were too weak to see, he called Esau his older son to him and said, "My son," he replied, "here I am." And he went on to say, "I have now grown old. I do not know the day of my death. So at this time, take please your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt some wild game for me. Then make the king of a tasty dish that I am fond of, and bring it to me. Then I will eat it so that I may bless you before I die." However, Rebekah was listening while Isaac spoke to Esau his son. And Esau went out into the field to hunt game and to bring it in. And Rebekah said to Jacob her son, I just heard your father speaking to your brother Esau, saying, bring me some game and make me a tasty dish. Then let me eat so that I may bless you before Jehovah before my death. And now, my son, listen carefully and do what I am instructing you. Go please to the herd and get me two of the best young goats from there so that I may prepare from them a tasty dish for your father, just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat, in order that he may bless you before his death. Jacob said to his mother Rebekah, but Esau my brother is a hairy man, and my skin is smooth. What if my father feels me? Then I will certainly appear to be mocking him, and I will bring upon myself a curse rather than a blessing. That's true. At this his mother said to him, upon me be the curse made for you, my son. Just do as I say and go. Get them for me. So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother made a tasty dish, just the way his father liked it. After that, Rebekah took her older son Esau's finest garment, which she had in the house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. She also put the skin of the young goat on his hands and on the hairless part of his neck. Then he handed the tasty dish and the bread that she had made for her son Jacob. So he went in to his father and said, my father, to which he said, here I am. Who are you, my son? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done just as you told me. Sit up, please, and eat some of my game, so that you may bless me. At that, Isaac said to his son, how were you so quick in finding it? My son, he replied, because Jehovah your God brought it to me. Then Isaac said to Jacob, come near, please, that I may feel you, my son, to know whether you are really my son Esau or not. So Jacob came near to his father Isaac, and he felt him. After which he said, the voice is the voice of Jacob, but are the hands of Esau. He did not recognize him because his hands were hairy like the hands of his brother Esau. So he blessed him. On hearing his father's word, Esau began to cry out in an extremely loud and bitter manner and to say to his father, bless me, yes, me too, my father. But he said, your brother came deceitfully so that he might get the blessing made for you. At this, he said, is he not rightly named Jacob, that he might supplant me these two times? My birthright he has already taken, and now he has taken my blessing. Then he added, have you not received a blessing from me? But Isaac answered Esau, here I have appointed him master over you, and I have given all his brothers as servants, and I have bestowed grain and now wine for his support. What is left that I can do for you, my son? Esau said to his father, is there just one blessing that you have, my father? Bless me, yes, me too, my father. With Esau cried loudly and burst into tears. So his father Isaac answered, see away, from the fertile soil of the earth your dwelling will be, and away from the dew of the heaven above. And by your sword you will live, and you will serve your brother. But when you go restless, you will indeed break his yoke off your neck. However, Esau harbored animosity against Jacob because of the blessing his father has given him. And Esau kept saying in his heart, the day of mourning for my father are getting closer. After that, I am going to kill Jacob, my brother. When when the words of her older son Esau were told to Rebekah, she at once sent for her younger son Jacob and said to him, "Look, your brother Esau is planning to take revenge by killing you. Now, my son, do as I say. Get up, run away to my brother Laban in Aram. Dwell with him for a while until your brother anger towards you subsides and he forgets what you have done to him." I mean, it's really what she has done. Then I will send for you from there. Why should I lose both of you in one day? Well, now she's thinking about the consequences of what she has done. Isn't that too late? After that, Rebecca kept saying to Isaac, I am disgusted with my life because of the daughter of Eth. If Jacob ever take a wife from the daughter of Eth, like this daughter of the land, what good is my life? Hmm, now she has problem with other people. So Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and commanded him, saying, You must not take your wife from the daughter of Canaan. Go away to Padan to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and from there take yourself a wife from the daughter of Laban, your mother's brother. God Almighty will bless you and make you fruitful and multiply you, and you will certainly become a congregation of peoples. And he will give to you the blessing of Abraham, to you and to your offspring with you, so that you may take possession of the land where you have been living as a foreigner, which God has given to Abraham. So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he departed for Padanaram, and Laban the son of Bethuel, and Ramaam the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. It's also that Isaac had blessed Jacob and had sent him away to Padam to take the wife from there, and that when he blessed him, he commanded him, Do not take a wife from the daughter of Canaan. And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother and departed for Padan. Esau then realized that the daughter of Canaan were displeasing to his father Isaac. So Esau went to Ishmael and took a wife, Mahalah, the daughter of Abraham's son Ishmael, the sister of Nebaioth, in addition to the other wives he already had. Oh, good. Now he's married so many times. Jacob departed from Beersheba and kept going toward Aram. In time he came to a place and prepared to spend the night there because the sun had set. So he took one of the stones of that place and set to rest his head on and lay down. Then he had a dream. And look, there was a stairway set on the earth, and its top reached up to the heavens, and there were God's angels ascending and descending on it. And look, there was Jehovah stationed above it. And he said, I am Jehovah, the God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you are laying to you, I am going to give it, and to your offspring. And your offspring will certainly become like the dust particles of the earth, and you will spread abroad to the west and to the east, and to the north and to the south, and by means of you and by means of your offspring, all the families of the ground will suddenly be blessed. I am with you, and I will safeguard you wherever you go, and I will return you to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised to you. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, truly Jehovah is in this place, and I did not know it. And he grew fearful and added, how awe and inspiring this place is. This can only be the house of God, and this is the gate of the heavens. So Jacob got up early in the morning and took the stone on which he had rested his head and set it up as a pillar and poured oil on top of it. So he named that place Bethel. But previously the city was named Luz. Jacob then made a vow, saying, if God will continue with me and will protect me on my journey, I will give me bread to eat and garment to wear, and I return in peace to the house of my father, then Jehovah will certainly have proved to be my God. And this stone that I have set up as a pillar will become a house of God, and without fail, I will give you a tenth of everything you give to me. All right, so we're going to end here, and we can continue next time with the study. The book of Genesis is rather a very long book which kept on all our generations and tells us everything about ourselves, so about how the earth was created, and the mistakes that has been repeated over and over again from father to sons, deceived, jealousy, and things that many of us, well, all of us have witnessed. It seems that we have never been able to turn our heart to the right place. Um, we have allowed ourselves to think of wicked things, to let jealousy and envy. We can see in this land, this verse specifically, envy from the king Amalek, and the refusal of doing the right thing instead of actually getting to know God. He decided to just make his own oath with Isaac on the other hand, for he does not wish to lose his, I don't know, humanly power. So should we oath for our own power and live with such great blessing, as we can see those who live humbly in the presence and the demands and the heart of God, and try to live with a less wicked heart, well, no wicked heart, but more pleasing to the eyes of God, has been filled with many blessings like riches, um, anything that they want. So it's not like they were working, they were doing, getting doctorates. There was no such thing as PhD degree then. But those people were rich. They were not going to school and getting degrees over degrees. Not They were not descendants of kings and queens, but these people, because they follow the words of God, because they actually honor God, they the health, their wealth, health, everything was multiplied, and those who actually attacked them were destroyed by Jehovah. So with this, think of it. What exactly that you want for yourself from these little things? It's like a pattern that has been displayed multiple times. Those who listens and obey and try to, give themselves to God, serve them, obey, as if you're obeying a father, your own family, your mother, your mother and your father. You do the right thing, you get recompensated. And the thing is, they all, even when they have time where they lack food, Jehovah was with them. Jehovah sent them places that they receive them and they get blessings. So, which one is it going to be? Are we going to be the disobedient one, the one who wants to rule ourselves? We make that decision so often. We decide that we want to be our own God. We decide that we're going to live by our own rules, by our own law. We don't even follow the law of human being, which was derivative from this book. And what do we get from it? We do not get fruitful when we do those things. So this is the story that tells you how things repeats itself and what exactly you can get from it. What's the purpose of those stories? Why do we read them? We read them so we can learn. That's why we read and we learn from mistakes that were forehand, and we decide not to try to do better ourselves. So with that, as Jehovah says, and between those who are gathered by my name, I am present. For the Lord, with his spiritual being, is within us and within me, within you. As we listen to his words, we discuss his life, we discuss his wonders, his desires for us. And we, as children of God, as his creation, we want to humbly present ourselves before him and serve him so that he can shower us and continue to bless us throughout our life and even throughout our own future generation. With that, I say you guys have a wonderful evening. May God continue to bless you, bless your family. Reading, taking a time, 30 minutes to take a time to get to know God is will be one of your own blessing. And I am happy to learn more about the story of my ancestors with anyone who is watching. And thank you for coming. Have a wonderful day, evening.